Facing a midlife crisis? Find courage in everyday women's stories. Subscribe to Resilient Women Rising.
The viral comeback. How a 55-year-old divorced woman reunited with her son and revived her salon empire. Marina Cho's life had unraveled like a badly cut bob-jagged, uneven, and impossible to fix on her own. At 55, newly divorced, she poured her soul into Silver Strand's salon, the little shop she'd built on scraped-together savings and long nights of dreaming. But when her only child, Daniel, walked out after their final vicious fight, he took more than his suitcase, he took Marina's belief in herself. Their argument had erupted over her workaholic hours. "You'd rather save strangers' hair than see your own son," he'd shouted. "I'm tired of being second to your salon." Hurt exploded into accusations she attacked his late fees. He retorted with childhood resentments. In the end, he slammed the door, and the echo of that slam haunted her for 4 years. Since then, Silver Strands limped along on loyal rumors Marina's still there. If you need a trim but foot traffic thinned. Expenses outpaced income. Her once bright storefront dulled the landlord's polite reminders, turned into stiff eviction threats. Marina spent nights curled on the salon's scuffed floor, clutching her best local stylist plaque and willing her hands to remember how to weave hope into hair. Then the email arrived, invitation social media revamp. From an unfamiliar address, she opened it to find Daniel's concise pitch. He was now an internet marketing consultant specializing in local businesses. He'd tracked her salon's stagnant metrics and offered to help no charge, no strings. Marina's heart jolted after 4 years. Her son was speaking to her again, through pixels and analytics. Her trembling fingers tapped his reply. "I'll be there tomorrow at noon. Café Solstice. Bring yourself and your doubts." The next day, Marina arrived at the cafe 10 minutes early, clad in a simple blouse and her softest smile. Daniel slid into the booth, leaned from late nights behind screens, eyes wary yet kind. Before she could ask why, he set a sleek tablet between them. On its glowing screen danced a montage of Silver Strand's dusty mirrors, replaced by Instagram filters, empty chairs swapped for client selfies, and caption overlays phrases from influencers she'd never met. "I grew the following from 20 to 12,000 in 3 weeks," he said. And bookings jumped 40%. His voice was calm, almost clinical, but Marina felt a surge of something she thought she'd lost: pride. Tears pricked her eyes. "Why help me now?" "Because I missed you," he said, head bowed. "I see what you built. I see what you almost lost." He didn't demand her forgiveness. He offered his expertise and his presence. When she nodded, his face brightened with relief. And for the first time in years, mother and son shared real laughter, warm, healing, and suffused with promise. They dove into strategy the next week. Between clients' shampooing and styling appointments, Marina learned hashtags, engagement metrics, and content calendars. Every morning at dawn, Daniel and Marina laced up for brand story strolls walks she once took alone, now rich with conversation. He filmed day in the life reels, her hands sectioning hair, her grin at a perfect curl, her voice soothing a nervous bride's jitters. By month's end, Silver Strands had shed its dust. Passers-by paused by the vibrant Now Booking sign. Influencers streamed in free of charge for the content. They said posting live blowouts to thousands of followers. An appearance in a local fashion vlog led to feature articles praising Marina's signature color blends. The salon's 6 chairs buzzed from open until closing. But with success came darker currents. One morning, the landlord knocked with a brighter tone than usual. Marina opened the door to find not a notice of eviction, but an offer the owner of the building wanted to sell, and if she could secure a small loan, he'd give her first right to purchase. Marina's heart leapt, but her savings still dwindled from divorce settlements and business debt. Yet Daniel stood behind her, unwavering. "Let's pitch it," he said. "I'll design the proposal." They worked nights drawing financial forecasts, creating slideshows with projected growth, and filming a personal appeal Marina, speaking from her heart about her 30-year dream to create community through beauty. Daniel edited it into a 3-minute video that went viral among local entrepreneurs. Soon, an anonymous benefactor offered a microloan. Another client chipped in an angel investment. Within weeks, Marina closed on the property, turning her monthly rent into mortgage equity. The day she signed the deed, Daniel took her hand. "You own this now. No one can take it from you." Tears filled her eyes as she realized her daughter's stake her son's belief had rekindled her own. Yet the greatest test remained rebuilding their fractured relationship. In a moment of boldness, Marina surprised Daniel with a custom-his chair barber station at the back of the aisle, salon complete with his favorite tech setup, and a neon sign, Daniel's Digital Den. He blinked, speechless. Then he sat. She draped a barber's cape over his shoulders, placed scissors in his hand. "Welcome back," she whispered, and as Daniel styled the first digital client in Marina's chair, the salon echoed with a new symmetry: mother's craft, son's innovation, and the 1,000 stories of resilience they would weave together, one hairpin, one hashtag at a time. The morning sun barely pierced the city haze when Marina unlocked silver strands for her first full day under Daniel's marketing overhaul. The fresh scent of lavender cleanser mingled with espresso from the new mini cafe corner Daniel insisted on installing. Clients snapped selfies against the branded wall, tagging sets Marina's chair, and Resilient Women Rice an immediate surge of user-generated content that had Marina blinking with joy. As she draped a stylist's cape over her first client, an urgent ping sounded from Daniel's laptop. He glanced at the screen, eyes widening. "That boutique magazine, City Chic Quarterly, they want an exclusive profile by tomorrow." He tapped furiously. "But we need a dramatic hook, something real." Marina's mind raced. She thought of her journey, the divorce, the estrangement, the near eviction. "Let them see the truth," she said. "Film me at the shelter next week when I offer free cuts to women rebuilding their lives." Daniel nodded, excitement and pride lighting his face. Midday, the door chimed, and in swept a sleek figure, the landlord-turned-owner, Mr. Patel, sporting a tailored suit and a professional smile. "Marina," he said, extending a contract, "I've decided to lower your mortgage payments by 15%. I believe in what you're building here." Marina's throat caught. He had bet on her when no one else would. But the applause was cut short by shrill alarms. The salon's POS system blinked error, followed by Daniel's phone buzz's social media feeds, crashing under a sudden flood of spam comments. Someone was attacking their online presence, burying positive reviews. Marina steadied her hands on the styling chair. Who would? Daniel's face was pale. "Maybe a rival salon? They're threatened by our growth." Within the hour, they faced angry calls, clients unable to book online, an influx of bogus appointments clogging the schedule. Marina's stomach twisted. "We can't lose momentum," she said. Daniel sprang into action, redirecting bookings to a simple Google form, manually confirming real clients and disabling the compromised platform. Marina rounded up her team behind the styling stations. "Let's double-check every appointment this week," she urged. Community always wins. By evening, the crisis was contained, thanks to their quick pivot and the client's loyalty. A social post from a longtime patron read, "They stood by us when tech failed true heart at Marina's chair." The hashtag Our Strike Back with Style trended locally, turning sabotage into solidarity. The next morning delivered an even bigger surprise. A city councilwoman stepped through the door with a press entourage in tow. They streamed live as Marina and Daniel conducted a ribbon-cutting ceremony for the first Resilient Women Rising workshop, hosted in the salon's upstairs. Loft-free styling services and self-care seminars for divorced and widowed women. Cameras caught every moment, scissors snipping, hair dryers humming, and the genuine tears of gratitude on participants' faces. After the councilwoman's speech praising Silver Strands as a beacon of empowerment, Marina and Daniel shared a look no words needed. They transformed crisis into opportunity, building not just a brand, but a community. Yet, as they packed up plates of refreshments that evening, Marina's phone buzzed again. It was an anonymous tip the ex-husband's new fiancé planned to open a high-end salon directly across the street using the same name, the same color scheme, and undercutting their prices. Marina's heart pounded. The next battle loomed larger than digital trolls or real estate drama. But side by side with her son, her partner, in both life and business, she felt ready to face whatever storm approached Silver Strands. At dawn, the silver door of Silver Strands swung open under a sky heavy with threat and possibility. Marina stood at the threshold, arms folded, eyes fixed on the storefront across the street. Its elegant signage, Marina's Mirror Salon, gleamed in identical teal and gold. Inside, designer lights illuminated empty styling chairs and a pristine reception desk. Marina's breath hitched. Daniel joined her on the sidewalk, tablet in hand. They've launched a website overnight. Premium packages, same signature treatments $20 cheaper than us. He scrolled through glowing fake reviews already flooding local directories. They're banking on your reputation to pull customers. Marina's fingers twitched toward her scissors. They can have the name but not the heart behind it. She squared her shoulders. We fight back. By mid-morning, Daniel had crafted a hard-hitting exposé, a side-by-side comparison on their blog and social feeds showing trademark registrations, dated logos, and images of Silver Strand's official certificate. He highlighted the illegal use of Marina's name and brand colors. Within hours, local forums buzzed with outraged copycats, shameful ploy. A competing influencer, newly onboarded by the rival salon, tried to defend them on Instagram, live only to be met with a tidal wave of comments redirecting viewers back to Marina and Daniel's proof. The city's Chamber of Commerce announced an investigation into trademark infringement. Meanwhile, Marina rallied her clients. She offered mirror-free Mondays. Every client who mentioned the rival's name that day received a free deep conditioning treatment. Word of mouth spread like wildfire. On Monday evening, the rival's chair stood empty across the street. Marina's chairs buzzed 3 deep. At closing, Daniel tallied the bookings. Silver Strands was booked solid through the next week. Marina slipped her hand into his. We'll need to trademark our workshop name next, she said. Daniel nodded, already drafting paperwork. Just when victory seemed certain, a city inspector arrived with a stern docket. The upstairs loft, newly outfitted for the Resilient Women Rising workshops, lacked the proper permits and faced immediate closure. Marina's heart sank. That community space had become their signature, her promise to the women who trusted her. Faced with looming fines, Marina closed the salon early. In the back office, she sank into a chair as Daniel paced, phone plastered with permit applications and lawyer contacts. Marina's vision of empowerment seemed to crumble under bureaucratic red tape. Then, one by one, the women who had attended workshops, teachers, widows, single mothers, arrived at the salon with petitions and letters of support. They stood in a line that stretched beyond the salon door, each holding testimonials of how the workshops had saved their confidence, their hope. Volunteers offered to help secure the proper permits, and a local architectone of Marina's former clients volunteered pro bono to draw up compliant plans. As Marina watched the crowd, tears in her eyes, she realized this fight was never just hers or Daniel's. It was a movement of resilience, of women standing together. Outside, the rival salon's lights blinked emptily, a stark reminder that you can steal a name, but you can't steal a community. Marina gripped her son's hand. We go back upstairs tomorrow, she said, voice steady with newfound strength. Together, and with that vow echoing down the block, mother and son prepared for the next chapter, rebuilding a space not only for hair, but for healing and ensuring that no mirror, no matter how shiny, could ever reflect their spirit. At first light, Marina and Daniel returned to the loft's mezzanine, clad in hard hats and armed with freshly stamped permit documents. The makeshift community team architect, teachers, and workshop regulars had arrived early, ready to clear out construction, debris, and repaint the walls in uplifting shades of coral and teal. As hammers clanged and brushes swept, the salon below, filled with the steady hum of blow dryers and faraway laughter from the salon's chairs, proof that life here moved forward despite every adversary. By noon, the loft gleamed polished floors, safety-rated lighting, and new signage reading, Resilient Women Rising Workshops, complete with Marina's freshly trademarked logo. The architect, wiping sweat from her brow, handed Marina the final inspection approval. "They can't shut you down now," she said, beaming. "This space is official." Marina closed her eyes and inhaled the scent of fresh paint and possibility. She exchanged a proud glance with Daniel, who responded with a thumbs up through clamped-in ear protector muffs. It was their triumph built on community sweat and solidarity. Yet the roster for that evening's first official workshop boasted an unexpected name: Sloan. Price, the developer's lead agent who once tried to seize Marina's home, now seeking personal growth. Marina's stomach twisted. Could she welcome the woman who once threatened her family's sanctuary? When the clock struck 6, attendees trickled in: students, survivors, and Sloan, who lingered at the back. Marina offered her a strained smile and a folding chair. As the workshop began, gentle breathing exercises, seated chair yoga, and affirmations echoed under soft lantern lights. The tension in Sloan's shoulders softened. When it came time to share stories, Sloan hesitated, then spoke of her own childhood in foster care, of loss and displacement. She apologized for her past actions, eyes glistening. "I took something precious from you," she whispered. "I want to help rebuild if you'll let me." Marina's heart stuttered. The workshop circle fell silent. Then, in a voice strong with compassion, Marina said, "We rise by lifting others. Welcome." Sloane's tears fell as she stepped forward for a supportive embrace. The room exhaled another victory of resilience. That week, the salon's rival Marina's mirror found itself deserted as the community flocked to Silver Strand's authenticity. Their own influencer, humiliated by the expose, quit mid-live stream. Doors closed quietly across the street, leaving unlit chairs and a vacant storefront. However, the battle's stakes surged when a national beauty franchise reached out. A regional director emailed Daniel, "We've watched your grassroots growth. We want to partner with Silver Strands for a co-branded line of hair care products." Daniel showed the email to Marina. Her chest swelled. This was the big break they'd never dared dream. But success invited new complexities. The franchise demanded exclusivity, meaning Marina would have to close the third branch and redirect profits. Meanwhile, the rent on her newly purchased building crept up with inflation. As she weighed the offer's promise against her community's needs, Marina found herself at a crossroads: sell out for stability or stay local and risk overextension. Late that night, she climbed to the rooftop terrace, her sanctuary of fairy-lit chairs overlooking the city. Daniel joined her, coffee in hand. "If we do this," he said, voice tentative, "we secure our future. But I know what this place means to you and to them." Marina stared at the skyline, neon reflected in her eyes. "I built this for women to heal," she whispered. "Not just for growth charts or product lines." She turned to Daniel. "Tomorrow we decide." Below, the city lights shimmered like a sea of possibilities. Marina realized that every triumph carried a new challenge, and that true resilience meant choosing not just what was profitable, but what was purposeful. As dawn broke, Marina drafted a response to the franchise with the words, "I'm in if we do it my way." But what price would she pay to keep her promise to community and family intact? Sunlight filtered through the salon's large front windows as Marina unfolded the franchise proposal on her styling station. The document loomed with glossy promises, co-branded shampoos, nationwide distribution, an upfront investment that would cover 3 years of overhead. It was the security she craved, yet the margins were thin unless she sacrificed local autonomy. Daniel hovered beside her, tablet in hand. "They'll want full creative control," he warned. "Packaging, pricing, even your workshop spaces might be rebranded." He tapped the screen. "But look at these numbers, projected 200% growth in year 1. Marina's fingers traced the proposal's fine print. She thought of Mrs. Lee, who'd found refuge in the Resilient Women Rising workshops after losing her husband. She pictured the new mother, Jenna, whose first haircut post-divorce had restored her confidence. Could they lose that intimacy under a corporate logo? That afternoon, Marina called a staff meeting in the loft. Stylists gathered around, coffee cups in hand. She explained the franchise offer, laying out the PRA's financial security, product lines, national recognition, and the con's reduced flexibility, strict branding guidelines, potential closure of smaller branches. Silence fell. Then Ruby, her longest-standing stylist, spoke up. "Marina, you built Silver Strands on trust. If you let someone else call the shots, what happens to us and to our clients?" Heads nodded in agreement. Marina saw the uncertainty in their eyes, but also unwavering loyalty. Later, Marina and Daniel drove to the outskirts of town to meet with the franchise's regional Directora Crisp, efficient executive named Karen Parquette, a hotel conference room. Karen laid out her terms: 20% gross revenue royalty, mandatory nationwide marketing campaigns, and a cut of workshop revenues. She smiled tightly. "We believe in your story, Ms. Cho, and want to elevate it globally." Marina inhaled. "And the loft?" she asked. "Our community workshops?" Karen's smile faltered. "Workshops would need to adhere to our wellness protocols, approved curricula, branded materials, quarterly audits." Marina felt a familiar tightening in her chest, control slipping away. Daniel whispered, "This isn't what we envisioned." She drew a steadying breath. "I appreciate the offer, but my community trusts me because my salon is their safe space, not a corporate outpost." Karen's polite expression stiffened. "Then perhaps we're not the right partners," she said, rising. Marina shook her head. "Not yet. What if we co-create a sub-brand? I maintain the workshops independently, and we pilot product sales only in local stores. No buyout, just partnership." Karen paused, considering. It was a compromise, growth without surrender. Finally, she nodded curtly. "I'll propose it to headquarters." Back in the car, Daniel exhaled. That was bold. Marina allowed herself a small smile. Bold and true. That evening, Marina closed the salon early and invited her team upstairs for a vision night. Under the loft's warm lights, she unveiled new workshop guides, hand-illustrated journals. Her nephew had designed and announced Ruby as the Resilient Women Rising Coordinator. Linda, the receptionist turned social media specialist, would oversee a grassroots product line of salon-tested shampoos and conditioners, bottled locally. The corporate partnership would fund it, but content and quality remained in their hands. Champagne corks popped as stylists and front desk staff cheered. Marina closed her eyes, savoring the moment. This was the balance she'd fought for: financial health without sacrificing the salon's soul. 2 weeks later, Silver Strands hosted a dual launch. The pilot product line debuted on a sleek display beneath the salon's teal logo, and the first Resilient Women Rising Journal workshop filled every seat. Cameras from City Chic Quarterly filmed as Ms. Park, now a tentative ally, cut a ribbon alongside Marina. Daniel streamed it live to thousands of followers, comments flooding in with praise. This is how you do partnerships. Marina's integrity is unmatched. As guests mingled over lavender-infused mocktails, Marina spotted Mrs. Lai clutching her new journal to her chest. She crossed the salon floor and embraced her. "Thank you for trusting us, Mrs. Lee whispered, voice thick with gratitude. Marina felt tears sting her eyes. This was why she'd fought for moments like this, where resilience met real lives. That night, after everyone left and the sparkle of lantern lights faded, Marina and Daniel stood on the rooftop terrace. The city spread below, a tapestry of possibility. Daniel took her hand. "You did it. You found a way forward your way." Marina leaned into him. "We did it together." She gazed at the distant neon glow of the rival storefront, dark, abandoned. "And now, no one can steal our light." Under a sky of street lamps and stars, mother and son toasted to second chances, knowing the next chapter held new challenges, but confident that with conviction and collaboration, they would rise again. As they looked out, Marina's phone buzzed with a global beauty influencer requesting an international partnership, a new frontier beckoning beyond everything they'd built. 6 months after the landmark partnership launch, Silver Strand shines brighter than ever. 3 bustling salons bear Marina's signature teal doors, each humming with the scents of lavender, rosemary, and possibility. The grassroots shampoo line Resilient Roots sits proudly on shelves beside the locally crafted conditioners, their proceeds funding scholarships for women entering cosmetology. Weekly Resilient Women Rising workshops fill lofts citywide, offering safe space, skill building, and sisterhood. On a crisp spring morning, Marina shoulders her stylist's smock for the first time in years and steps behind a new client's chair in the Gangnam branch, her son Daniel's brainchild. The laminated plaque on the wall reads, "In partnership with Daniel Cho, Digital Architect of Dreams." As she washes the client's hair, her hands move with the same certainty that carried her through heartbreak and reinvention. She feels the familiar warmth of community, the client's relaxed sigh, the gentle hum of conversation, and the knowledge that this touch, this care, transforms lives. Later, Marina joins Daniel in the back office of the original Silver Strands. He grins at her, eyes alight behind his sleek glasses. On the wall, the global influencer's invitation glows on a tablet, an offer to host a flagship workshop in Tokyo. Marina's method, Resilience Through Beauty. Daniel taps the screen, then looks at his mother. "Ready for the next frontier?" he asks. Marina rests her hand on the brass lantern from her grandmother's estate, now a ceremonial piece in the salon's heritage display. Its patina gleams in the midday sun. She inhales, tasting both nostalgia and excitement. "With you by my side," she says softly, "I'm ready for anywhere." They share a smile that carries 4 years of estrangement, 10 years of divorce recovery, and countless chapters of triumph. This is more than a business. It is their family's legacy of resilience, innovation, and unwavering love. As they step out onto the salon's bustling floor stations alive with colorists, stylists, and smiling clients, Marina realizes that every strand she touches, every life she uplifts, is woven into a story far greater than herself. And with each new day, she continues to prove that when women rise together, they create legacies that outshine any challenge. And revived her salon empire.